All right. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Lift every voice and sing.
Going a journey toward justice. Here to guide us through this moment.
Oh, it looks so fantastic. I love to see the unity there and the ethnic diversity. That is so important. I want to let you know that 160 years ago, some of our ancestors planted some seeds. Those seeds are still growing. It's why we are here today. We're celebrating Juneteenth, which is a United States federal holiday, and it's celebrated on June 19th of the year. Juneteenth holiday, state holiday, in March of 2022. Juneteenth is the oldest celebration that marks the end of slavery in the United States, and it was first celebrated in Galveston, Texas. Project Success Juneteenth Committee is honored to be a part of the national and local movement. The Juneteenth holiday promotes and builds upon the achievements and healing processes of people of African diaspora over our long history in Utah and the nation. The Juneteenth Festival events bring communities together from all walks of life. The celebration of Juneteenth embraces the positive, proud promises of freedom for all people. Thank you so much. We're going to have Betty Sawyer to talk about and why it's so important for this flag to be recognized.
Hello. As we get started, I just wanted to pause for one moment for a moment of silence, if you can indulge me. For us, it's been shared that Juneteenth is not just a moment, it's a movement. Freedom is not just a moment, our community, to speak truth to power, and to advocate for those things that build community, build families, and sustain us across generations. We're extremely excited to be a part of the celebration today, and we've been excited to welcome Milcreek into our state Juneteenth family. So let's give our leadership another big hand. So 36 years ago, I received a mantle from a dear friend of mine, Lenoris Bush, and he invited me to be a part of the Juneteenth Planning Committee, and we continue to do that. So this year we celebrated our 36th statewide celebration. So let's give it up for community. Juneteenth provides an opportunity for us to learn together, to love together, but most importantly for me is build community together. We can celebrate all we want, but then we have to roll up our sleeves and work together to do the work that's necessary to build the kind of community, the kind of state, the kind of society that we all want to live in and want our families to live in. I have the distinct pleasure of serving on the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation Board. And they were the ones that moved to have the federal holiday recognized. And I know Representative Hollows will be up later, but I always have to give her kudos and thank yous because I bugged her to get her to put forth this legislation. But one of the big parts of our Juneteenth celebration, and a part of that story that we don't always hear, was the story that the U.S. colored troops were along with Gordon Granger, General Major Gordon Granger, when he went to Galveston to issue General Order Number 3. And tonight we have a special guest with us, all the way from Los Angeles. Mr. Bobby McDonald is the president of the Greater Los Angeles chapter of the Buffalo Soldiers 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry Division. Okay, I remember that much, all right? And so at this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Ms. McDonald to share a little bit about that significant part of the Buffalo Soldiers, and I know we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Association National. I'm the Public Relations Officer, and I'm also the President of the Greater Los Angeles Area Chapter. And I'm proud to say that Ms. Fiona down here with the Fort Douglas chapter is part of the chapter, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And I think in my family is my Aunt Virginia. My Aunt Virginia was one of the first black nurses. My Aunt Virginia was one of the first 100 black nurses in the United States Army as an officer in 1943, stationed at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. That's powerful. It's powerful because there weren't many officers here. The other thing is, this is the 4th Juneteenth I've done, and I've done three of them out of the state of California. I've done Fort Missoula, I've done Sheridan, and now I've done Salt Lake and Mill Valley. All right, so I'm on the road with this story because it's a story to tell. I have one story for you that I think is very, very important. The gentleman that took the ride on Lieutenant Moss from Fort Missoula, Montana, all the way down to St. Louis, Missouri, is one of the officer that helped do all the research on the American flag. Now, what's really neat, he had black troops all through his term, all through the country. But what I thought was pretty famous that he did, and General Pershing did, when they went to the Spanish-American War in Cuba. That's the only time in our history the 9th, the 10th, the 24th, and 25th infantries ever fought together. It's the only time. They didn't fight together in the Philippines insurrection. In fact, none of the Buffalo Soldiers were over in France. However, what's really cool about them going to Cuba, that's how those gentlemen, when they came back, they started the VFW. They were part of the creation because we created it. And with that, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope you come back over to the other place, over to the fort, and see what we got going on there. But I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Ms. Betty. Thank you, community, for allowing me to be here. God bless you all. God bless you, man.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. McDonald. Let's give him another round of applause, everybody. All right, so please join me in welcoming Robert Birch of Sema Hadith. He'll be sharing a piece of history, of Utah Black history, that is, through the legacy of the Chambers family. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.
The belief that there's no black history in Utah. And so my wife and I set out to create an organization that's dedicated to one thing. That is telling our story from 1847 to the present. And so no longer do we accept people saying that we have no story here. I really have to imagine that the story that we have in Utah is an outsized story. And the reason I say it's outsized is because our population is so small, but our service and our effect has been so large. And so we dedicate ourselves to telling every type of black story we can tell in Utah. From the churches that were here, from the clubs that were created, from the societies who got together and tried to improve our communities. But one of the most important stories, and I think Fathers of Freedom was 2022, Betty, or was it 2023? 22. The National Juneteenth Committee decided they wanted to recognize veterans and those black men and women who served our country. And from that came a little project. I thought that was just going to be 6 months or so. Betty and I got together and said we want to create a veterans exhibit book ever written about the Buffalo Soldiers in the Utah Territory. It is a book that literally took 2.5 to 3 years to make. And we were able to create this book through stakeholders and partnerships like the Utah Historical Preservation Office, Utah Cultural Site Stewardship, the American West Museum, the Bureau of Land Management, the Forestry Service, Fort Douglas Military Museum, the Uinta Museum, just a plethora of people who had a piece of the story, who all came together to make this first book to talk about those souls. And these are incredible stories. These are stories that if all of Utah knew, they would be claiming these stories. These stories have been co-opted by other people like Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. But if you go up to Fort Douglas Military Museum and you want to see the banner that the Americans put on top of San Juan Hill, Cuba, you can see that banner at that museum. And it was placed there by the Buffalo Soldiers of Fort Douglas, Salt Lake City. So these are the type of stories you're going to find in this book. And it is available at our tent over here. But I just want to make sure that as we talk about these Buffalo Soldiers, that we remember the courage of our servicemen and women. We hear great stories about the Red Tails, and they're important. And we hear great stories about the 688, and they're important. But what's important for Utah is the 9th Infantry and the 24th Cavalry who served right here to help build this state. And I want to present this book to Mr. Bobby since he came all the way from California to get it.
Communities all over the country, be prepared.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Be prepared. We're coming.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, let's give a round of applause for Robert. We always appreciate his historical moments. All right, so moving right along, we're almost to the end of our initial program. We are honored tonight to be joined by two leaders who continue to break barriers and lift voices across our state and county. Please welcome Utah State Representative Sandra Hollins, followed by Salt Lake City County Councilwoman Natalie Pinckney.
Good evening. Happy Juneteenth. It is my honor. Here in Utah, we celebrate Juneteenth not only as a historic moment, but as a vibrant tradition. One that honors our past, empowers the present, and inspires a more just future. We recognize the contribution of Black leaders, families, educators, artists, and community members who continue to shape and strengthen our state and nation. Today, it's about joy, it's about unity, and it's about culture. It's about lifting our voices, lifting the voices of those who are often silenced in our community. It's also about music, food, education, and connection and networking. Whether this is your first Juneteenth celebration, and I hope it's not your last, or one of many, we are glad you are here to celebrate. So let us remember our ancestors today, and let us remember our history is America's history. Let us celebrate freedom. Let not just the freedom granted on paper, but an ongoing journey towards equality for all. Thank you.
All the way down to Bluffdale, from Cottonwood Heights all the way to Magna. And I'm excited to make history in Utah as a Black trailblazer following behind Sandra Hollins. I got elected as the first Black person countywide in the state of Utah to be ever on a county council. And just like our ancestors before, I'm determined not to be the first. Our history of Juneteenth is one of freedom, and freedom is just the beginning. We have to keep going, and we have to keep fighting. We see from the federal to the state level that they are trying to attack our Black history, our Black freedom, and our Black political power. And we will not let that stand. We will keep fighting, and we will keep working. Just like our ancestors of the past, we will show them what coalition building looks like from the farthest of the Wasatch Mountain to the Oak Core Mountains, and here in the state of Utah and the United States of America. But we need your help. We need trailblazers from every neighborhood to step up. Whether you're in the Black diaspora or you're an ally supporting the cause today, we wouldn't be able to stand on this land if Black trailblazers and Black pioneers weren't brave enough to come out west. So I'm asking for you to be brave and to step up, but because our freedom depends on it. And if you want to get involved in Black political power, join me in the Utah Black Caucus tomorrow for our first ever Trailblazer event celebrating Black cowboys and Black leaders who've made history. Thank you so much.
All right, you know the routine. Let's give them another round of applause, everybody. Awesome. All right, so get ready for another treat from the Salt Lake City Mass Choir as they come and get ready. They're going to take us on a little history journey. So let's give it up for the Salt Lake City Mass Choir, everyone.
Team, how y'all doing out there? All right. Hey, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna pretend like we don't have a little bit of an elephant in the room. We're gonna figure out this little sound situation. So once we start, we're gonna keep going. Is that all right? All right. So here's what I need though. Here's what I need in the process. I need everybody that's planning to come to party with us. I need y'all. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus. Anybody trust Jesus while we're at it? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, for grace to trust Him more. One more time. How I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus. Yeah. Oh, for grace to trust Him more. Y'all ready to go? Are y'all ready out there? That's the promise of the King. All right, as Chris shared with you, we're going to take you not on a long trip, not on a big trip, but we want to highlight some of the greats of gospel music. How many of you guys are familiar with gospel music? Familiar with gospel music? How many are unfamiliar but y'all like it? You can raise your hand if you're unfamiliar but you like it. I see some of y'all are lying. Y'all not telling the truth. Gotta tell the truth. We're gonna take you back to between 20.
There is no way I can live without you. Anybody familiar with that song? We just want to do a little bit of it. It's a Sunday morning song right here. Y'all say Ruben.
For me to bear.